Hey guys, welcome to London Players Guild. I am joined today by Blaine, who is our primary Digimon streamer on
Hello
Wednesdays.
there.
So Blaine is bringing out deck profiles for us every Sunday, but today we have a slightly different thing. There is going to be a deck profile from Blaine, don't worry, he's not leaving you hanging. But we had an event for us yesterday. I'm not sure when the video is going to come out. It might be a couple of days ago. On 10th of October, we had a tournament. And in front of us, we have actually the first two places. So the top deck list that you see on the screen is, and now I want to say, yes, the top one is the Shark Danger, who won the tournament. And the bottom one is Shinichi, who got a second place. Shark Danger, very good American player, and Shinichi, I think he said it was his first tournament, and he's a Spanish player. Both players were piloting a Mono Blue Omegamon deck, not an Ulforce deck. So what's Blaine is our player here. So what's your opinion on the whole thing? Why do you think this deck was better than the Ulforce? Why they didn't go for the Ulforce?
It's a very high risk rush strategy, isn't it? In these builds, which a lot of decks at the moment, there's not enough blockers or anything like that on the field or in the card pool that can just cater to survive it. So it's got the options with the high cost cards and the low cost cards, aren't they, to either switch up the strategy of just spamming you with the big boys and hitting you in with them and you're not able to answer that, or just quickly rushing out with the low costs. So if they're against something like purple, I imagine they'd start throwing out the megas just because purple can cater with its blockers the same as black, can't it? And again, if your opponent's bricked and you notice they've bricked, you can take advantage of that with throwing out the megas, or the same with the low costs again, and just swarm the field. So it's not really counting on going up evolution chains, so it doesn't need consistency. It can just throw out whatever it's got in its hand as an option
So I guess
and
that's why
overswarm you.
the Zudomons, when played, draw two cards.
Exactly. And then it gets you to what you want, because then once you've thrown that Zudomon out, if your opponent's not got an answer for it, you can cheaply evolve into the Plesiomon, yeah,
Plesiomon.
for cost 2.
Yeah.
And then the following turn, if they've still not answered the Plesiomon, which they probably won't because 12k is quite a high DP if you've got it out early on, they can go into the Omnimon and clear your field, and they just leave you empty.
Yeah,
and they can afford to spend that energy because they're clearing you.
And both players are running 3 of the Garurumon, which has, when played, you can restand 1 of your Digimon, which very painfully some players learned can restand Omnimon. So Omnimon
What,
can... The
metal
Garurumon.
Oh, yeah, without pain.
Yeah, it doesn't check for the color, it's just when you play, you restand... Oh, sorry, what's the English word? Unsuspend.
Yeah, suspend.
You unsuspend your Omnimon. Or to be fair, there's a combo with Metal Garurumon, right? You attack, you play Garurumon from your source to unsuspend your Metal Garurumon and attack again, or evolve into Omnimon and just get lots and lots of attacks in.
So you just
yeah,
you just overwhelm. That's like the whole strategy of this, isn't it? Is just overwhelm, and there's not enough answers in the game yet to answer it.
Yeah. So couple of differences I wanted to point out here is Shinichi was running a 16 rookie lineup, which is 3 more than the Shark Danger, but it's a big difference, isn't it?
I think Shinichi was a lot more focused on the rookie rush side of the deck, whereas Shark Danger seemed to focus more on the mega rush side of it, as well as I think Shark Danger played it a little safer, having the 2 Ice Wolf Claws in there, which I imagine probably helped him in the mirror a bit.
Yeah, and I think that Metal Seadramon just got so much work done.
So, as a one-off, there was so much value with that because I played him in round 2, and I feel like I saw Metal Seadramon twice.
Yeah, Metal Seadramon
in each game.
A lot of the Dark Masters actually proved being really strong in this tournament because we also had Cooper, which we have another interview. We have interview with Cooper actually about his deck, who utilizes Papenmon and Metal Seadramon and what was the other one? Machine Dramon. So 3 of the 4
Yeah, he did because
Dark
I played him
Masters.
in
Yeah.
round 5. Yeah,
And then of course we have Purple, which plays Piedmons, right? So
yeah.
there
Purple plays
is a
Pac-Man.
lot of those mega abuse, and it's interesting because it has its downside, right? You play the mega, then they can just spam out with rookies and hit you back. You have only 1 attack with your mega, and then they have 3 or 4 attacks in retaliation, unless you keep on dropping puppet mons, which just lock your opponent up.
But
Like,
this is where it's a plausible strategy at the moment, with there only being 2 sets out.
yeah,
The game hasn't got the consistency there for you to be afraid of paying out 12 costs, because
yeah.
you pay it out and then your opponent's got to have stuff in hand to take advantage of that memory. And there's a high chance at the moment your opponent won't have the stuff in hand to
I think
take advantage of that memory.
I think Shark was playing the Cocytus Breath because he was worried about decks like that that would try to take advantage of things like that.
Yeah.
On the other hand, to defend against black decks or purple decks, he has the Metal Seadramon, right?
Yeah,
Which
so
bounces
if
back
you
the
yeah.
blockers, and then it can't be blocked unless
Yeah,
the
so
card has the source.
if you've got a high stacked War Greymon there, he's just
Yeah.
gonna go, okay, Metal Seadramon,
Metal Seadramon, I
bye.
think, bounces only
Oh,
five or 4 less.
sorry, yeah, level 4 or less. So
Yeah.
it still gets rid of the Gardramons,
The Gardramons, Gotsumons,
yeah,
and things like
and
that, and
just
removes the
lets him
sources
run
from
in.
them. Yeah.
Yeah,
It also sets your opponent up back quite a lot, and you keep the Mega on board, right? So you have that
yeah,
potential of Omnimon, sorry. And of course, there is a Cocytus Breath. Blue being
that
the most popular color in the tournament, I think, means that if they going to answer your Metal Seadramon, it is going to be with Cocytus Breath, which means you can replay it.
yeah.
So it
Um,
becomes a very weird dance
that's
there.
what happened to me in one of the games, because I did have a Ice Wolf Claw in hand, and they had the Metal Seadramon out, and I was like, well, I'm not sending that. I ended
Yep.
up sending back the Gorillamon
Okay.
because I wasn't going to send the Metal Seadramon back, because then I'm just thinking, well, he can just play it down again next turn, and
Yeah. That is a fair point.
so I went more for the bounce back the Gorillamon because I don't want to just give him another Metal Seadramon for him to clear my board again.
Yeah. I mean,
And at the end of the day, Metal Seadramon's just a 10k threat after he's
yeah,
done his
that's true.
bit,
But
other
the
than,
fact that he's difficult to block is,
yeah.
I think, the main selling feature there. It not only slows down your opponent, but it also is difficult to block, so he can easily get that minuscule damage here and there, right?
I think the balance with the Metal Seadramon is it's 10k though, isn't it? So once
Yeah.
it's in rest mode, that's when you take care of it. You take the attack off it because you have to take the attack off it,
Yeah.
but then you make sure that you can swing into it to get rid of it.
But if it's just going to be dropped, bounce something of yours, and then the next
Yeah,
one is just straight evolved into Omnimon, then it's
yeah.
hard
Then
to
it's an
deal with
issue.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
The other thing is that he can be a surprise finisher. If you have an ultimate on board, your opponent has some blockers with no sources and doesn't have security anymore. You just evolve into Metal Seadramon and attack for game.
Yeah, you take your game there.
It's a very interesting one-off. Definitely very, very scary card to be looking down at. That possibility to be unblockable is really scary, and I think that's why it earned it the spot there. And we have seen
Right,
Shark manage to get more answers in his deck, more consistent answers. He was not depending on early aggro, as you said.
I'm telling you though, the amount of use he got out of that Metal Seadramon, I have a feeling we're going to see it switch to a 2-off.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. It is a strong card. It's
Yeah.
a lot of people, myself included, when we looked at the Dark Masters, were like, "Well, it's expensive, but is it worth it?" And for example, I didn't read Puppetmon properly. I was
Oh yeah,
convinced he only stops one card from unsuspending, and no, it's the whole board.
yeah, no. Anything he suspends a card, doesn't he? And then
Yeah, and it stops
the
from
rest of them.
unsuspending the rest. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it can be unsuspended with skills like Garurumon. So I would not be surprised if we see Garurumon being bumped up to 4 if Puppetmon and similar cards are going to be popular.
Yeah. See, I saw Puppetmon and I saw it for what it was. It's really good, but I weren't creative enough with it because I was like, the rest of green sucks.
But then you
I
don't need
didn't.
to play green. You can just drop
Yeah,
him as he is, as Cooper proved.
yeah. I didn't really think about the whole just lob him in and do what you want with him.
Yeah. I mean, he's a strong card. He doesn't need to be played in green. You can essentially splash that Puppetmon in any deck. There is no punishment. You play him, you stop your opponent's board, then when he attacks, you get 1 memory back. There is no downside to actually putting him in. Against Rookie Rush, they're going to just drop out their hand, and then you're going to stop them from attacking with it. It doesn't matter they have all memory in the world because they can't do anything with it.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. That's why these decks were so prevalent yesterday, is because you can just play them. And
Yeah.
if your opponent's got it plays on the gamble of if your opponent's got an handful of rookies, they've got an handful of rookies. What am I going to do? Or I'm going to give them 10 energy, and they're probably not going to be able to do anything with it.
Yeah.
That's the attitude of this deck. They're going to come in swinging at you.
But your big threats should be bigger than what they're having, right? I know Shark struggled in the matchup against Cooper. It was a really good match. One, I think, of the best matches we had in the tournament. So definitely look out for it on YouTube if you haven't seen it live. Thank you guys for watching. I think we're going to wrap it up here because those decks have been it is something that has been done before. We just wanted to touch in on how the guys adjusted the strategy, how they did in the tournament. Shark Danger went undefeated. Shinichi only lost to Shark Danger. I think Shark Danger lost 1 game to Cooper, and yeah, he won against Shinichi 2-0. So altogether throughout the tournament, I might be wrong there. I'm not claiming that I'm correct here. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you like this type of decks, let us know in the comments. We are going to be doing more analysis from our tournaments as the time goes and as we have more tournaments and interesting decks. And keep your eyes peeled for an interview with Cooper and his magical 3rd place deck, which is actually an amazing Mega Zoo. Thank you guys for watching and see you around next time.